Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulihi kareem Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dear believers, brothers and sisters, greet you assalamu alaikum. Just thought that we take a few moments and read something from the Qur'an in hopes of bringing an effort to bring some kind of comfort to us from the Qur'an, a surah that was revealed to Muhammad the Prophet ﷺ at a time when he was under great difficulty, discomfort by the attacks upon his life, his friends, his family, simply for the message that he was bringing. And that surah that Allah revealed is called Duha, even though some translations may have it consolation. I've seen that, comfort. A surah that was revealed, as we said, when Muhammad the Prophet ﷺ was struggling and had went through a lot. And that surah Duha, Allah says, and we want to just remind us briefly as Ramadan is approaching and what we're dealing with this coronavirus and the all of the fallout from it, etc. And that surah Duha, and that surah begins Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wad-Duha, by the glorious morning light. And that duha is usually around the time when we're having the Eid Salat, maybe here between 8 and 10. So it says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wad-Duha, by the glorious morning light. It's a comfort, inshallah. It was to Muhammad the Prophet specifically, but inshallah it's for all of us. وَلَيْلِ إِذَا سَجَّى, and by the night when it is still. And it's peaceful. Layla is peaceful, but even when it's still, like it's no end, and we may feel that way in the darkness of our life, we may be going through some things. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى, and it says, your Lord has not forsaken you, nor is he displeased. That we may be going through things which we're going through in the light of this coronavirus. You may lose a loved one, may be sick yourself, and even before this, we have challenges in our life. But Allah says to Muhammad the Prophet, and saying to us, if you're sincere, you're trying to do the right thing, you do good deeds, you just have a good, clean heart, although we all make mistakes, and things come into our life, and we may say, why? Why did my mother get killed? Why did my son get killed? Why am I sick with this coronavirus? Allah says, مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى, your Lord hasn't forsaken you. It doesn't mean that Allah is displeased with you because you're struggling with some kind of illness or something, or we have a challenge in our life. And Allah says he hasn't forsaken you, he hasn't left you. And Allah lets us know in another place that he's closer to us in our jugular vein. So he's always there. He's closer to us than our life. That's our life vein from our heart to our brain. Also, Allah, the Most High, he said in another place in Baqarah, he said, when my servant asks concerning me, tell them I'm near, Qareeb. I'm near. And he says, and I respond to the dua when the person who makes the dua makes it to me. So keep that in mind in relations to us presenting this. Well, Allah says, مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى, and it ties in the next ayat. The fourth one says, وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. That your future, you may be going through something now, as we are with this coronavirus. But he says, Kairum, but your future will be better than the present situation. You know, there's Kairu, we hear that, Salatu Kairum Minin Naum. That Salat is better than sleep. Kairum. And in another place, Allah may say, it's better for you if you but knew. But here Allah says, He's assuring the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu who was going through difficulties. But as Allah said, you think you're going to be able to say that you believe and not be tried and tested just like those before you. So Allah says here, well, al-akhiratu khayrun laka min al-ula, that your future, the accurate, not here just when we pass and go to the accurate, the life beyond this physical life. It means even in this life, that what we may be going through today, that if you're sincere and by Allah's mercy and trying to do good, that it will get better. It will be better. And then Allah says, and it all ties in the next ayat, وَلَسَوْفَ يُؤْتِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَىٰ. And Allah says, and soon will thy guardian Lord, soon will your Lord give you that which will please you. We say Radi. We say Radiyallahu anha for a woman that passes or something, right? Or Radiyallahu anhum for a guy. So it says Fatardar, and then that which will please you. Soon things will pass, and Allah will give us that which will please us, or just getting over a situation may put a smile on our face. But this is the Surah Duha that was given to Muhammad the Prophet at a time when he was struggling and going through great stress and hardship. And it's for all of us. And I just thought it'd be a good idea today, the 21st of April, to share this with us in an effort to help, hopefully comfort us as well. And as we're moving forward to Ramadan, I know many of us are stressing and wonder how is this going to be in addition to what has happened up to this point. We've never experienced this in our life where Ramadan we won't be together for our iftar, for the salat in general, for the Jummah and the Eid, etc. So Allah says, go through this, but soon. وَلَسَوْفَ يُؤْتِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَىٰ. Soon your Lord will give you that which will please you. So our aim is to make it through Ramadan. Inshallah, we will earn the blessings of Ramadan and get that taqwa, as Allah says in this Surah 183 of Baqarah, that fasting is given to you like it was given to those before you, لَأَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so you'll get this taqwa, loving fear of Allah. And here the next ayat, the sixth ayat, starts this, to always remember where we came from. That's where this is shift now. And it says to Muhammad the Prophet here, it says, أَلَمْ يَجِدَّكَ يَتِيمًا فَأَوَّىٰ. Did not we find you an orphan, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? You're going through this difficulty now, but didn't we find you an orphan and give you shelter? You know, Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his father died about 6 months before he passed, before he was born. So he's born a widow's son. He's born the son of a widow. His mother, Amina, we say, Abna. And then, when he's about 5 or 6, his mother dies. So he's an orphan. And that's what Allah reminding him, saying to him, even in this difficulty, didn't I come through for you when you was an orphan and give you shelter? Because you know Halima was the nurse that took care of him, and then when she passed, and Abu Muttalib, his grandfather, did what they can, and his uncle Talib did what they could, but it was Allah who raised him, who gave him shelter, somewhere to live and to stay, etc., just on that physical level. And then blessed him later in his life with Khadija radiallahu anha, yes, peace be upon her, yes, blessed him with her. And working with her, he got total independence, which the next ayat come. Working for her, a businesswoman, where it freed him to be able to do the dawah and the work that he had to do without worrying about where his finances was going to come from, how he was going to sustain himself. So Allah says, after that, after alam yajidika yatimin fa'awwa, he says, wa wajadika dalan fahada. And didn't we find you wondering? You know, we said the end of Al-Fatiha, Daleen. Now, that doesn't always refer to, in a religious way, I mean, you're astray. You're looking for the direction, wondering. Like right now with the coronavirus, we're wondering. We're of the Daleen. We're wondering, we're astray. Where's this heading? Where's this going? How do we get some comfort? How do we get some sense of stability? So we're wondering, the world is wondering. So Darlene, so he would say he was wondering with his people, what is this situation with my people, etc. Didn't we find you wondering and give you guidance? Gave you Qur'an, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? And Allah says in Baqarah, ayat 2, he says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is the book. There's no doubt in it. It's a guide to those who have the taqwa, right? So he said, didn't we find you and guide you and show you where to go and what to do in your life? And as for us, Qur'an is the guidance. So we were astray in our life in some way, and Allah guided us to the deen. And then it says, وَوَجَدَّكَ عَائِلًا فَأَقْنَى. And did not we find you in need, dependent and in need, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and make you al-Ghani, is Allah, the self-sufficient, the independent. And as we pointed out, made him independent. How? In many ways, but we can just see Allah bless him to marry Khadija, who was a businesswoman, and as we said, freed him up. Total independence to do the work of Allah and not have to worry about his material life so much. And you can read that. Allah blessed him with a wealthy woman, Khadija, a good-hearted woman she was 40, he was 25. She had him about 15 years. And stayed married to her, to the one woman, the whole time until she passed. So Khadija, a businesswoman, and Muhammad the Prophet says, I'm working with her. So Allah, so we can see it just on that level, even though there's many, many beautiful spiritual levels for that. So Allah says to him, وَوَجَدَّكَ آئِلًا فَأَغْنَى. Yes, that Allah, we can be dependent and not just on another person or just this material world. Know that right now we're dependent on information in this coronavirus. We're dependent on information, right? We're dependent on this data. But Allah says, don't forget where you came from. Didn't I find you this way and do this for you? Didn't I find you this way and do that for you? We can all look back upon our life and see situations that we were in, and only by the grace of Allah our life improved, right? So, didn't I find you dependent? That's what it's saying. Just remember where you came from. Never forget where you came from. You may be going through difficulties now, and Allah is saying, just as I delivered you then and improved your life then, I can improve it now. And as Allah said, we read it, وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. That your future, our present, inshallah, will be better. And then Allah says in ayat 9, 9th month of Ramadan is coming, right? 9th month, Ramadan. So ayat 9, فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. And don't be harsh on the orphans. Don't be harsh on those who don't have their family members. And we know what's going on in this. People are passing from the coronavirus, but not only on that level, who don't have leadership. Even though they may have a physical family, but on a bigger level, that they're orphaned, they don't have leadership. They have no one to help and guide them. So Allah said, don't be harsh on those that are in those situations, etc. Just read Surah Duha, just trying to read it with the intent of bringing some comfort to us in this difficult time. Because that's what this surah was revealed to Muhammad the Prophet. And then the next one says, وَأَمَّا سَائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. And know also, don't push away the petitioner, they say, or the one who has questions, who are maybe asking for some resources, asking for some monies, or asking for some food, or just have general questions. Don't just automatically push them away. And we're all in that situation now. We have questions now, right? We have needs. I mean, individual situations, people are laid off, this and all of these things that's going on. Losing family members, losing jobs. As we've been saying, the masjid. We're petitioners now, seeking aid. Make sure saying pay your zakat, pay sadaqah. Make donations to the masjid, because we're not grouping together for the Jummah and other times when we can get our resources like that. So yes, so we can even apply that, right? But those who have questions, more specifically, but we can broaden it that way too. It said, don't repulse, don't push them away. And then there's people that's hungry, that's in need. We know on that level. But we're all in need right now, in one way or another. Whether it's materially, spiritually, or mentally. Believe me, all that we're going through sudden is affecting our spirit. It's affecting our mind. It's affecting us in some way. And so don't be harsh on those who have questions and why. So with that, and then the last one, beautiful. All of it is, ayat 11. وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. And report. Hadith, report. Ni'mah, the favors of Allah in our life. As Allah says in another place we may read is, with the difficulty come ease. So if there's anything good that had happened in our life way before this, Allah says, publicize it. Not at a braggadocio guy, but in the help and with a desire to help someone. Saying, hey, I was here, been there, done that. I got out of that. Allah blessed me to come through that. Even right now, people who have had coronavirus and pulled through and are healthy and strong now. And we know, I know some, I'm sure you know some of us know some, and someone else is infected with it. As I speak now, I know somebody that had it, and we know somebody that had it that pulled through. So if I end up with it, inshallah, they say, Mustafa, you be all right, brother. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep your faith in Allah. Take whatever foods that you can take to get your health, build your immune system, etc. That's the point. And it says, وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. And report the favors, hadith, that Allah has bestowed upon you. So, Sadaqallahul Azim, surely Allah's truth is powerful. So we wanted to read here from Surah Duha, and that's how that ends, in an effort to hopefully bring comfort to someone, inshallah, and put us at ease. And then the surah that follows that kind of ties into that. So Inshara, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alam nashra laka sadrak. Allah says to Muhammad the Prophet, Sudura, he said, did not I expand for you your sudur, your chest, your breast, to include everyone, have a love for everyone. But Allah also says in another place in the Qur'an, Allah says, I think it's Surah 6, Allah says, when He wants to guide someone, whoever He wants to guide, He expands His sudur with Islam. So He said to Muhammad the Prophet, and we're saying to ourselves, Alam nasra laka sadrak, did not I put Islam in your sudur and expand your chest with Islam? You're feeling bad now, but reflect on what has happened. You have Islam. Allah says He expanded the chest with Islam. And Allah says, وَوَضَعْنَا أَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ, and remove that which was a burden on your back, that which was heavy like the weight of the world, all that we're going through, all that you've been through. And it's saying reflect on the good that Allah has done for you. And if He did it then, trust that He could pull you through now. And Allah says to Muhammad the Prophet ﷺ, and to us through Muhammad the Prophet, Allah says, الَّذِي أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ, yes, and that which weighed on your back, like you was carrying the weight of the world, right? Bent over, you just feel the stress of life in general, and then particularly in this situation here. And if you see the word ظهر, it's dhur, because dhur comes on the back of fajr. Did not we remove your burden, that which was heavy on you, Muhammad the Prophet ﷺ, and to us? And then it says to Muhammad the Prophet, وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. Rafa is raised. It's like almost you hear roof in it. And raise for you your esteem. They put esteem. But you hear dhikra, your memory, where it's already guaranteed you'll be remembered as long as this world is in existence. Your esteem, your remembrance. And then it says, all of it's beautiful, but we're familiar with these, what we can say here. And letting us know we're going to have difficulties. Because the next ayat 5, it says, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرِ, surely with the difficulty is the ease. Is the ease. That you're going to have challenges as we do. We're going to have difficulties in our life. Allah never said we're not going to have difficulties. We're going to have difficulties in our life. But Allah says, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرِ, that with it, right, in that difficulty, there is ease. There is some benefit. There's something to facilitate you to grow. And we may not know what it is right then, but Allah is saying in the difficulty, with it, right there with it, there's something, there's a benefit, there's some ease, some relief, some growth. Meaning in this here, we may not see it, but there's something in with the difficulty, depending on where you look at it and how you look at it, that helps you and benefit and that frees you up in some way. Make us more great, like even with this, I'm sure, this coronavirus and all that we're going through, make us more grateful for the little things, what we took for granted, just to be able to gather with each other, just to be able to walk around outside, etc., to touch, to hug, and all the restrictions that come with it. But even if those restrictions were there, just to know what this virus is doing, to be able to just breathe freely, right? The small things that we take for granted, which are big. And it says it again in case we didn't get it. It says, Inna ma'al usri yusra, surely with the difficulty is ease. So you got it? Let us reflect on that. And Allah says, فَإِذَا فَرَقْتَ فَانْصَبْ, therefore when you finish, when you are free from one task, still stay focused, still labor hard. If we're doing dawah or whatever work we're doing, we're trying to do, when we finish that, not that you don't need a break, we're going to always use a break, but when you finish that, don't just stop. Still labor hard, still move on, still pick up something else to do. Keep working, keep moving out with things. We could do dawah, we could do this. Whatever it is that we're doing, he said, when you say, I've completed that, don't just stop. You can take a break. We need vacation sometime. We gotta be for real about that. But the point is, when you finish one, have something else you're focused on. And what that focus is, continue doing things. And it says this here, it says still labor hard. That's how Yusuf Ali translated it. But then the last ayat, it says, وَإِلَّا رَمْبِكَ فَضْنُ غَارِبٍ. But always keep your focus on your Lord. Always keep your attention on your Lord. When we finish something and we're working on anything, keep the focus on Allah. Always. As Allah says in the Surah Jum'ah, he says, when the Jum'ah is over, Surah Jum'ah, I think it's the 9th or 10th ayat, even the Jum'ah, it says, think on Allah kathiran, think on Allah a lot, seeking His bounties, but think on Allah a lot. لَأَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, so you would be successful. So we just went through these ayat surahs briefly in an effort to give us some sense of hope and comfort, hopefully some things to think about as we move forward into Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. So today is the 21st, so we could be fasting very soon. 23rd, some say the 24th, but whenever it is, it's going to be different for us, right? We're on our own, in our homes, not at the masjid, breaking fast together, the dates in the water and praying together. So this is unique, just like the month of Ramadan. The nine is an odd number, and Ramadan in itself is a unique, different kind of month. We can never reproduce it. That is the month, the 9th month in which Qur'an was revealed. And no matter what, we always say, man, if we could just keep the brotherhood together and have all these many people for Salat every day, and sometimes people make fun of each other, oh, Ramadan. No, bottom line is, you can try it, but we never can do it over again. Ramadan is unique just in itself, and it's a special month in which Qur'an was revealed. And in that month, that special night, Laylatul Qadr, right, which we talked about thoroughly last week. So in closing, we just want to remind us what Allah says in the Qur'an about how kind and merciful He is. No, always trust in Allah. So in Surah 6, ayat 54, Allah says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We read this just to assure us of Allah's mercy and His kindness and why we should trust in Him. وَإِذْ جَاءَكَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِآيَاتِنَا فَقُلْ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ كَتَّبَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ الرَّحْمَةَ. And that is this. Said to Muhammad the Prophet ﷺ, and we remind ourselves that Muhammad the Prophet is a model. It says a model, perfect human being. It says, when those who believe in our signs, our verses, when they come to you, ja'aka, it says, faqul, then say, salamu alaykum, right? When we meet each other, believers, Muslims, Allah says to Muhammad the Prophet, He says, say to them, salamu alaykum. But He say, don't leave it there. Listen, when you go read that ayah 54 in Baqarah and in Surah 6, it says, كَتَّبَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ رَحْمَةً. And also say to them, Assalamu alaikum, but say that your Lord has written mercy upon His nafs, upon His very being. كَتَّبَ, He wrote, right? And Kataba, Kitab is a book. Kataba, He wrote, that is written already. Kataba, that your Lord has written upon His nafs, nafsihi rahmah, mercy. Rahman Rahim, Rahman, merciful benefactor, that he has written upon himself, he has obligated himself to be merciful. So, dear believers, as Ramadan is coming and we close, know that Allah says fasting is prescribed to you like it was prescribed to those before you. لَأَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so you will have this taqwa. So we hope we was able to say something that will help comfort us in some way and help us move forward into Ramadan. I greet you, brothers and sisters. May we have a blessed Ramadan and a safe Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah.